Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Bruce, aka Haunted Husband, and welcome back to We, the Revolution. If you did not see the last episode, I highly recommend you go watch it. And I know I'm saying that for every episode now, but we've gotten to the part of the game where each episode I put up has so much in it that's so important, whether it be introduction of new characters, plot twist, new alliances, the removal of characters. It's just so much per episode that skipping an episode, you're going to miss a whole part of the whole plan that's going on. But we're going to pick up right where we left off in the last video with the trial of Gobel's illegitimate son. See what this says. Fencing school. Horace Lavelle, a famous fencer, wants to teach his art at a private school that will be based in one of the sections of Paris. However, even the most prominent names cannot be sure of the meeting the financial quote-unquote needs of local officials. Lavelle came to you when employees of City Hall asked far too high a bribe for all the required documents and permits. He does not want to give you any names, as he is unwilling to stigmatize the officials, but he believes that the support of the judge will be enough to convince him to take a smaller, more fitting token of gratitude. Sure, let's support the arts. This report was filed by Fabrice, good old Fabrice. He is accused of murder. The defendant is young officer Gerard Bontin. Strong evidence suggests that he killed the former Archbishop of Paris, Jean-Baptiste Gobel. Yesterday afternoon, in the victim's place of residence, a pistol shot was heard. Neighbors entered Gobel's room immediately and found a young man with a smoking gun in his hand. The victim was lying on the floor with a hole in his chest. They called the guard immediately, as the young man refused to put the murder weapon away. Due to the position of the victim, the crime scene was attended by Commander-in-Chief Francois Henrat himself. As the latter entered the room, he noticed that Bontin had finished loading the gun and was ready to shoot again, this time intending to kill himself. Henrat engaged in negotiations, and after almost 20 minutes was able to convince the officer to lower the weapon. Guards immediately grabbed and incapacitated the murderer before leading him away to jail. During a short interrogation in his cell, the defendant remained silent. Henrat was present during the attempt to obtain information, which seems strange to me, but he is the commander-in-chief, so he can do as he pleases. Unfortunately, an incident took place. After the investigators left, one of the guards returned to the cell, threw himself at the defendant, and kicked him several times, shouting, "What do you know about Rob? What do you know about the commander?" I tried to avoid rumors, but one piece of gossip could be crucial to this case. Monsieur le Judge is probably unaware, like most Parisians, that it is said young Bontin is Gobel's illegitimate son, the very same who has been the talk of the town lately. If that is true, we are dealing with both a tragedy and a mystery. Why would a son kill his own father? I have not been able to determine the truth. Perhaps you will. I need a drink after that. That was a lot of words. So there's no gotcha cards. You only can make one mistake. That took out the... Usually they mark one out. Usually it's like... Usually it's like it can only be one of these two or one of these ones. I still got 3 questions left? Ooh, boy. Let's look at this before I question him. Confess to the crime. Can revolution nature. Which crime scene first? I know it wasn't him. Acquittal really pisses off the common folk. Death penalty doesn't really do much. We would like the defendant to state his name. Gerard Bunting, son of Jean-Baptiste Gobel. Incredible. Please explain the rumors of you being Archbishop's son. What rumors? Everyone knows the truth by now anyway. Do you want me to exaggerate it and present some dramatic details so the cattle can have some fun? We're not animals. Why did you not tell the truth when the revelations were disclosed? I swear to my mother, that was the only reason I needed. Did you want to take the secret with you to the grave? That would have been best. A family secret should not be discussed and mocked by outsiders. Are you talking about us? Yeah, he's talking about you. Fucking peanut head. Will you not defend yourself? I already have. By shooting my father, I defended both my own honor and that of my mother. Now I will die with dignity. So what happened? Did you not see the wound in his chest? Rather, what happened before the murderer? I came to my father, who had more important things on his mind than his own bastard. What was the tone of the conversation? It was cold, no. I think it better to say icy. My father had a grudge against me. Why? Because I had turned to others with my problems, and that caused him trouble. He had just started a new chapter in his career. When did the shooting take place? After a short conversation, it was fast. To me, he became nothing more than a piece of meat, and no different than an enemy of the front. How else could one treat a father that regards his son with such contempt? Why did you reload the weapon? I decided it was no longer necessary for me to continue with my life. That is obvious. You committed a terrible crime. Not for that reason. My mother will die soon. My father lay dead before me. I will probably be guilty for shooting him. You will? And even if I'm released, I could be finished as a military officer. The court would pass its sentence, and then my commanding officers would pass their own. That would be against the law. I can see that you have not been in the army, citizen, but however it is viewed, my suicide would have been regarded as an honorable end to an affair. That is what I think. It's getting spicy. Why did you keep silent in your cell when the guards asked you questions? Because all of a sudden, many important figures became interested in me. I was visited by Assistant Herré, then later Henrot came in with the guards. What does that have to do with anything? Each of them asked if my father had told me something unusual before my death, anything that shocked or frightened me. And did he? The revolution is not yet over, and you can only promise me, Monsieur le Judge, that you will take care of my mother. It's not up to the judges of this tribunal to make promises of that kind. Tell me where she is, and her home men will take care of her. Do not say then, as you wish. Tell me about the assault on you. They tried to interrogate me, and I kept silent. Citizen Rod asked me questions, and I still kept silent. Then they all left. Please get into the details. A few minutes later, a guard came in and introduced himself by punching me in the face. Then he asked questions, just like the others. What questions? Mainly whether my father had said anything about Rob or Henrot. Why about those two? I guess they could tell more about it than me. What happened next? The other guards came in and took him away. I think it's obvious that Citizen Henrot really wanted to find out if I knew anything. Summon the witness. Is that Henrot? Please introduce yourself. In case anyone here does not Damn, I lost my voice there for a second. In case anyone here does not recognize me, my name is Francois Henrot. I am Commander-in-Chief of the National Guard. How are you able to convince the defendant to surrender? We had a long talk. About what? I told him that dishonoring the military uniform by killing himself was a greater crime than what he had done to Gobel. And that convinced him? He is an officer. You have never worn a uniform, so you would not understand it. But he has a deep respect for the army. Yes, that convinced him. Did you send in a guard who attacked the defendant? Do not be ridiculous. That man was acting independently, and he will be punished for it. How? I have not yet decided, but it's interesting that you are more concerned about a hot-tempered guard than a murderer. You can stop with your own insinuations. Has any guard ever shown such insubordination before? No, never. Things like that do not happen under my command. And yet he did, just when a prisoner could have information concerning yourself that he should not have had. I will not comment upon such absurdity. Uh, well, I know it's not the local baker because he's not mentioned anywhere. They said they called the guard immediately as the young man refused to lower his weapon. Am I assuming that the guard patrol got there first? Was the act counter-revolutionary in nature? I'm going to go with no. Otherwise, they'd have put it here, right? Usually they put counter-revolutionary. We should not kill the boy. Let him go. And leave me to live in disgrace? See that? A woman breaks into a shop, vandalizes. Excuse the speculation on soap. Speculation is very counter-revolutionary. But that's like counter-revolutionary. He shoots his father. Let's just take away that it's Gobel. He shoots his father. Not because he's the Archbishop, not because he's a place in power, because they had a disagreement between each other. And that's counter-revolutionary in nature? This game doesn't know what the fuck it's thinking. Other member only have 3 influence points after spending. I really don't care about the gambling done. They're mad at me because I let him go. Is there anything here that gets me up? That doesn't sound right. Is there anything that gets me up? Just a little work. A little conversation with work friends. So this part of the game is just fucking me. Like, severely just. They could have moved him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 900 spaces. They had to move it right to where all my people were. Let us start with rumors that could disrupt Rob's impeccable reputation. We'll use Herbert's words and suggest that Robert officially supports the corrupt clergy. Let Herbert's paper, Le Père Duché, make a few suggestions that the church bought Rob, paid for his support. We want to hear whispers on the streets claiming that. In the case, overthrowing the idol would be a good thing. David will try to convince the local bourgeoisie to consider the alliance, even though they are terrified of it. I trust Ramil with this job. Chance of success 100%. Well, I mean, I still got 4 influence points, so... Hello? There we go. I think that's where I messed up in the early part of the game. I was never using my influence points. I thought you had like 3 for the whole game. So I'm like, I'm not using these. I've only had 3 for the whole game. I didn't realize that they were per day. Today we only have several minor cases to deal with. Excellent. High, very high, high. This is not great. What do we got? 4 criminals with aristocratic roots: Degues, Jobert, Charbonnier, and Vigoureux. Saw the soldiers who were on duty in front of the guardhouse that night. Then they entered the guardhouse, set it on fire, and ran away. Why are you mad about that? Mehu Rosengal, a cloth merchant, was dining at a restaurant near Sainte-Chapelle when a waiter, Florent Basson, accidentally spilled sauce over him. Fuck off. Porthos Paulion, a skilled painter, would forge a famous painting and sell them to naive... Oh. Forge, like... Okay. I was thinking like a blacksmith's forge, but okay. Porthos, a skilled painter, would forge famous paintings and sell them to naive customers at high prices. When their princes demanded a raise and threatened to give the game away, when had certain Venice to kill him. Guess what you get. Dr. Jean-Marc Massé was called out to a 70-year-old patient who had a fever. The physician was supposed to perform a bloodletting on him. The patient died during their treatment. That's when he accused him. No. Late at night, 4 youngsters. Fuck it. I couldn't resist. Come on. It's right there. Fouguet. Regal, Sailor, and Bossan broke the lid off a well and defecated in a joke. The watchman who caught the testified fire. The children had tried to drown a cat. Luckily, the animal managed to break free. I got several problems with this. I mean, I'm not going to sentence a kid to death whose name is Fuck It. 2, shitting in the well. That's kind of funny. 3, trying to drown a cat. That's psychopathic behavior. But I can't imagine that all 4 of the children tried to drown the cat. It doesn't take 4 boys to drown a cat. It takes 1 boy. National Guard Lieutenant Louis Daubon accepted a bribe, a gold watch, from Gaudier de Fun. Later was arrested because he was caught riding around Paris drunk and assaulted another driver. That's super satisfying, that. The signature and the stamp, super satisfying. Interesting. What's the problem
Do you
here?
want to keep being hungry? Do you wish to continue witnessing the bribery among those who rule us?
No!
Maybe. I haven't decided yet.
We must get to Robespierre!
Wha-
Tonville will save us.
Tonville! We want bread!
Fuck your bread. Let's get him.
The committee became entangled in bribery and treason. Who else can cut the Gordian knot, if not the guardian of the law? All the criminals and traitors within the committee will tremble out of fear for Prosecutor Tonville. Nothing can be hidden from us. Danton decided to sacrifice himself and make room for Tonville. Are you going to support him too?
No effects? Oh, bullshit. I played them like a fiddle. Uh-oh. We got Rob on the toilet.
It is high time I pay attention to that judge of yours.
Yeah, like, I don't know why you would do that. Like, I don't know why you would, put yourself on Front Street like that. And we'll read together. I'm not really worried about losing that much of the, boon from him. And you get her boon up. So this is good. We're at a healthy equilibrium there. Are you kidding me? You're keeping me perma-locked. Just move me away from this. Jeez. I can tell these are success. Arresting Danton's friends. Francois Cabnat and Claude Berset, low friends of Danton, arrested today at Rob's request. We apparently succeeded at provoking Rob to fire warning shots. I doubt that Cabot and Bros will be taken to court quickly, as far more probable they will be kept in the prison to soften Danton. We must take another move. A jailbreak? A jailbreak doesn't make sense here. Because a jailbreak just puts him back on the street. It doesn't keep him from future harm. A lot of interesting things happen, that's for sure. I didn't realize that his name was Tonville. Like Tonville. Because it's spelled T-I-N. I thought it was Tinville, but it's Tonville. You know what? I'll go one more day. We're kind of right there, that mid-between on the video. We'll go one more day. It took a moment to write a letter about bribery, that the needs of Paris and its citizens, the dangers of an impotent war, and the absolute monstrous corruption of officials. Promised to go after criminals who preclude people from, like Horace Lavelle, from working for the glory of the Republic. Your message must have been clear enough, as the officials don't even ask the payment for their efforts. Very high, high. Looking good here. Services, panderer, abused by. He has a very strong. I don't even know who this is. I mean, I'm not supposed to know everybody who's in my court, but at the same time, this was compiled by Charles, my good friend Charles. He is accused of pandering and pedophilia. Interesting. After the torrential rain that haunted Paris 2 weeks ago, a drowned boy was found in one of the sewers leading to the scene. Not the scene, but the scene. He was no more than 14 years old. His neat clothes led us to believe that he was not an urchin, so we started to look for his family. To search did not yield the expected results. A few days later, an anonymous denunciation was left at one of our National Guard's posts. His offer claimed that the mysterious corpse was connected to the mansion in the northern suburbs of Paris. A patrol sent to check on the revelations was forced to retreat when someone started shooting at them from the doorstep. The soldiers returned with the reinforcements to discover a terrifying scene. 4 suspicious-looking men were loading young, dazed boys into a cart like bags of potatoes. 10 boys total were found in the building, all of them from the country and none older than 15. The basement was filled with shelves lined with jars of laudanum. There was also a paddock with sheep, goats, cows, horses, and dogs. 2 of the 4 men were captured alive. They testified that the disturbing place was kind of a brothel belonging to a certain Raoul Badier. The guard lay in ambush and caught the host together with 2 clients. It's a couple of traps. Still 4 more questions. Still 2 more questions. Did I get them all? Sweet. I knew the neat clothes was a trap. I mean, that has nothing to do with anything. I guess we should get into it. Please introduce yourself. Raoul Batier, at your service. No, thank you. Do I understand correctly that you work as a procurer? I wouldn't use such strong words. We were merely providing entertainment to the rich and serve several particular demanding clients. You'd be amazed by how many of them you know personally. Are you pleading guilty? I'm merely providing a product that was in high demand. You mean young boys? I would rather say that my main trade was pleasant time. You were kidnapping, drugging, and murdering children. The corpses were then thrown in the sewer. Do you admit to it, citizen? They were lost country boys. Someone in Paris would have abused them anyway. They have ended up as tanners or factory workers, slaving for a piece of bread. We gave them a much better alternative. Did they think the same? Did you even try to find out what they wanted? I'm not sure. My people were supposed to do that. We would love to talk to them. Unfortunately, you killed them when attacking my mansion. How convenient for you. Did you drug the kids with laudanum? A glass of wine with a little opium helped those sweet boys to unwind before work. They begged for it. How could I say no? I wouldn't say no to smashing his face in with a stick. And once they were of no use to you, they were thrown into a sewer? Believe me, I wanted to avoid it. Your people opened fire on the National Guard. Did you give that order? There's been a tragic misunderstanding, that's all. You seem very confident. Do you know the fate that awaits you? You're a reasonable person. The mob wants blood, of course, but you know that entrepreneurs can be forgiven for minor sins they commit. What do you call a minor sin? My people were on edge, nervous, and confused your people with, well, burglars, I suppose it happens. Simply that nothing bad really happened. Well, if you were too close to every small business of trivial reasons, France would go bankrupt. Well, if you were too close to every small business... Okay. Do not change the subject. You were planning to smuggle the boys somewhere? They are still young and were scared by the shots, so we had to move them somewhere quieter. Your clients like to feast after their perverted pleasures. Oh, they do not come for the food at all. The wealthy citizens of Paris have a very surprising preference when it comes to love. Perverts? You can find a regular whore at every other corner. We were visited by people who wanted something more. Are you trying to say that your client had intercourse with cattle? There's no need for such crass descriptions. You call for freedom, and at the same time forbid people to a little earthly pleasure. Those boys who were imprisoned in your, what did they call it, business, were they also free? Were they copulating or not? They were indeed. They were willing and they got paid well, so why not? Bloop, bloop, bloop. I think that's a slam dunk. I think I got all 4 of those. My dude, you're not gonna like where this goes. Citizen Betier, you committed hideous crimes. The city will breathe a sigh of relief when your head finally rolls on the street. We're not drawing him in the scene. That would only be fair. Because it was not an option, Tonville. It was not an option. He's still smug. Look at him. Hope he keeps that smug face on when I pull the rope. Future generations will remember that we were not cowards. They will remember us as delivering punishment for such hideous crimes. By passing this sentence, we are making our streets safer. I'm not mourning the one being guilty, but us, his victims. Future generations will remember that we were not cowards. It needs to be done. You will be the next to lose your head. You will be defeated by lust. Lust for the rope. Slice, slice, motherfucker. This one time I'll go to the gambling den. heard I would find you here. It's good to know that the judge is... Oh, I didn't even get to read that. I'm fine with that. What a terrible roll. Didn't get much better. I'm not liking the motion that it's showing, because all you can see is his hand. Oh yeah, give him a little wine. It's the first time I've been able to do this. Oh, Yahtzee mother. I thought you were supposed to get it worse by the time buying drinks. It's not a terrible roll. I'll save my last re-roll for the last throw. Man, I am smoking him. See, this is why you save your roll. Didn't get much better, but still. I mean, even if he threw all sixes, he's probably still going to be able to beat me, so... Favor unlocked. Favor allows you to force the prosecutor to sign your report in court, which may save you from losing your post if you fail to fulfill your duties. Huh. I didn't know there was any boons to... No, it hurt me more than I thought it would. I'm sorry. I was out gaining favor. My poor guy just can't get off this block. I'm gonna save my influence, 'cause I get to come back to this. So, is that successful? It's a failure. Using Camille Desmoulins. So far, we're not involved in the crusade against Rob. When people started whispering that they must be a coward, he decided to prove them wrong and announce his willingness to help eliminate the incorruptible. His L'Évêque Scolaire is a perfect place to publish an article claiming that Rob was bringing the army to the streets of Paris, which also used the rumors about political prisoners being maltreated, tortured, sexually harassed. This should fit well with Cabot and Russ being arrested. Herbert and some of his close colleagues were arrested at noon. Same thing happened to Danton, who was long been a thorn in the side of Rob. They're accused of a number of crimes, and tomorrow their trials shall begin. The arrests are providing that Hamrot betrayed us. He reached an agreement with Rob and chose the side that benefit him most. Danton and Herbert are your allies, but you will not be able to save them both. You must choose which of them trying to save. The other will most probably be tried by another judge, completely sentenced to the guillotine. He will feel betrayed. Remember that what one can view betrayed among allies, other will be climbing the social ladder as something normal. I've been in a longer relationship with Danton than Herbert. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for this episode of We the Revolution. Things are starting to spiral out of control. I haven't looked at this. And Dunton's higher on the hierarchy. I'm only still here? So I'm going to save Danton because we have a longer working relationship. And then I hope we tag team to go against Henrot. Poor David's is down here by himself. I haven't seen much of him recently, but we'll... And wasn't he... No, that was Renard, okay. So wasn't he the one who was harboring the person who killed my son? But no, it's still Renard. If you liked the video, like, comment, subscribe as always. I appreciate it. Lets me know that I'm doing a good job and that you're enjoying my content. You can find me streaming on Twitch at Haunted Husband, on Twitter at Haunted_Husband, and on TikTok at Haunted Husband as well. Hope you're having a wonderful day. About to be a lot better than some of the people in this game. And as always, I'll haunt you later.